The bus ride home, and learn English through stories. It was evening in the city. The air was cool and the streets were busy. A bus pulled up to a crowded stop. He took the same seat every evening, halfway down the bus by the window. Same faces, same silence, same ride home. The bus came alive with noise, music from phones, voices, engines, and laughter. But inside his head, everything was quiet. He stared out the window, watching lights blur into color. His body was on the bus, but his mind was miles away. The bus passed a bakery, its lights spilling onto the street. For a moment, he could almost smell his mother's bread. When the old lady stepped on the bus, he stood up without thinking. She smiled and whispered, "Thank you, son." She smiled as the bus rolled on. He held the rail and nodded. It was the first smile he'd received all day. Two teenagers laughed loudly at the back of the bus, their music spilling from a small speaker. He smiled a little, once, that used to be him. A man in a work uniform slept by the window, his lunchbox still in his hands. Leo wondered how many nights he'd ridden this same bus home. A little girl turned and waved. He froze, then smiled back. For a moment, the bus didn't feel so lonely. Lost in thought, he almost missed his stop. The lights outside flashed by, another small reminder to stay present. Night after night, the same bus, the same faces, the same silence. The city changed, but his routine stayed the same. Rain tapped gently on the window, painting the city in silver and gold. He watched the drops slide down, 1,000 tiny stories passing by. He noticed a wallet under the seat. Picking it up, he called to the man in front. "Sir, you dropped this." The man's eyes lit up. "You just saved my week." "Thank you," the man said again, smiling. A few passengers looked up and smiled too. Leo turned to the window, feeling lighter than before. As the city lights passed by, he smiled without meaning to. For the first time in a long while, he felt like he belonged. The next night, the rain returned, heavier, louder, endless. Outside was chaos, but inside the bus, everything was calm. The bus grew emptier with every stop. Raindrops whispered against the glass, and the city lights blurred into dreams. The silence broke. Two men started shouting at each other, their anger filling the bus like thunder. No one moved, no one spoke. The little girl began to cry. Her mother held her close, whispering softly. The shouting grew louder, and fear spread through the bus like smoke. "Enough," the driver shouted. The bus jerked to the side, and everyone froze, hearts pounding. Then, for a moment, there was silence. The shouting stopped. Only the rain remained, whispering softly against the glass, a quiet song of relief. In the window, he saw his own reflection, tired but alive. Maybe, he thought, the ride home wasn't just about getting home. The driver met his eyes in the mirror and gave a small nod. No words, just respect, a silent thank you between strangers. The little girl turned and smiled again. Her wave was small, but it carried more warmth than the whole city outside. The bus rolled on through the rain. No voices, no noise, only the soft rhythm of wheels and water. Peace, at last. The little girl turned and smiled again. Her wave was small, but it carried more warmth than the whole city outside. The bus stopped beneath a streetlight. He stood for a moment, listening to the rain, before stepping out into the night. A soft light spilled from a corner cafe. Laughter drifted into the night air. He smiled. Maybe it was time to sit down and start again. The rain still fell, but inside there was warmth. He lifted his coffee, and for the first time in a long while, smiled. The bus ride home taught us that small moments can change everything. Kindness, patience, and reflection make ordinary days meaningful. Speech balloon key English phrases. He felt like he belonged. The city felt gentle. A silent thank you between strangers. Peace, at last. Cloud with rain lesson. Sometimes, English, like life, is best learned through the quiet moments that speak the loudest. Real talk, real English, real confidence. Freestyle American English. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.